Good morning, class ninth. Welcome back to the online class of science. In today's video, we are going to discuss various separation techniques which are used for separating the components of a mixture. We have learned that most of the natural substances are not chemically pure. Different methods of separation are used to get individual components from a mixture. Separation makes it possible to study and use the individual components of a mixture. Heterogeneous mixtures can be separated into their respective constituents by simple physical methods like handpicking, sieving, filtration that we use in our day-to-day life. But sometimes special techniques have to be used for the separation of the components of a mixture. Let's study these separation techniques with the help of some activities. How can we obtain colored component or dye from blue or black ink? Well, the process used here is evaporation. As we have already studied that evaporation is a process to separate volatile substances from non-volatile ones by heating below its boiling point. For example, salt is obtained from seawater through the process of evaporation. Principle. This method is based on the evaporation of the liquid component in a soluble solid liquid mixture. Technique. The mixture is heated such that the liquid components evaporate due to their volatile nature and the solid remains behind due to its non-volatile nature. From this diagram, let's understand the activity. A beaker half filled with water is taken. On the mouth of the beaker, a watch glass containing few drops of ink is kept. Watch glass is a small plate of glass. Now, if we start heating the beaker, we will see that evaporation is taking place. When there is no further change on the watch glass, we will stop heating it. What do we observe? We observe that ink is a mixture of dye in water. Thus, we can separate the volatile component, that is solvent, from its non-volatile solute by the method of evaporation. How can we separate cream from milk? The technique used to separate cream from milk is centrifugation. Centrifugation is a method of separating the suspended particles of a substance from a liquid in which the mixture is rotated at high speed in a centrifuge. Centrifuge is basically a centrifugation machine. Principle. This method is based on the principle that the denser particles are forced to settle down at the bottom, whereas the lighter particles stay at the top under mechanical rotation. Technique. The mixture is placed in the test tube and kept in a centrifugation machine or centrifuge. On centrifugation, the solid particles settle down and the liquid component of the mixture floats above it under the influence of the centrifugal force. Applications of centrifugation. Centrifugation machine or technique is used in diagnostic laboratories for blood and urine tests. It is also used in dairies and home to separate butter from cream. This technique is also used in washing machines to squeeze out water from wet clothes. Now, miscible and immiscible liquids. Miscible liquids are those liquids which can easily mix with each other. For example, alcohol and water, vinegar, which is a mixture of acetic acid and water, immiscible liquids. These are those liquids which do not mix with each other and hence form two different layers in solution. For example, oil in water. We know that oil and water do not mix with each other. Oil floats on the surface of water. How can we separate a mixture of two immiscible liquids? The process is by using the separating funnel principle. It is based on the principle that immiscible liquids separate out in layers depending on their densities. We have already learned that immiscible liquids do not mix with each other. So, they would easily separate out in layers depending on their densities. What is the technique? The liquid-liquid mixture is added to the separating funnel and the funnel is allowed to stand for some time without any disturbance. The more denser liquid settles down and the lighter liquid floats above it. Therefore, we can easily remove the two liquids with the help of stopcock at the bottom of the funnel. This is the separating funnel. If we put a mixture of oil and water in this separating funnel and keep it undisturbed for some time, we can easily remove the two mixtures. The applications of separating funnel, one is to separate mixture of oil and water, and another, it is also used in the extraction of iron from its ore.